Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to our first ever Techmates Podcast. I'm Jay. I'm going to be your host along with Derek.
I'm Derek.
Derek, you have to say something to show up in the video.
Oh, hey guys, Derek here with Techmates. Super excited to see you today.
Yeah, so a little introduction. I'm Jay from Jaycon. I've been designing products and manufacturing products for 11 years, and both Derek and I wanted a place where we could share technical information about product design, manufacturing, and a place for interviewing people. Wow, I'm already doing a terrible job today. So we wanted a place to interview product designers, entrepreneurs, manufacturers, and talk about tech. So, Derek?
Yeah, Techmates is basically our outlet here where we can talk about anything. We want to be able to speak to you freely. We want to take our experience in designing and manufacturing products in the United States, in China, and Vietnam, and bring those experiences to you guys to give you an understanding of what it means to bring products to life, what it means to design products, what it means to source products, what it means to basically be entrepreneurs and doing business overall throughout the world.
Cool. So a little bit about myself. I got my master's in aerospace propulsion from Florida Institute of Technology. Electronics has been my core passion since as long as I can remember. And so Derek and I started Jaycon when I was in college, and we just did it for fun, and it eventually turned into my full-time job. So here I am 11 years later. I still love what I do, still really deep into electronics and learning about it every day. And yeah, that's kind of how we got started. Derek, what's your side?
For Jaycon, for bringing the company together?
Yeah.
So, yeah, good question. So I moved to Florida in 2010. And from there, I met Michaela, who was friends with Jay. And if you don't know, Michaela is my better half. And so at the time, she was friends with Jay. And she said, hey, I know this guy. He's a real technical guy. You, Derek, you're kind of this entrepreneur guy. You guys should meet and, see what happens. And so from there, we met, we hung out. And I think most of the time we were more socializing, having a lot of fun, hanging out with all of our friends, going downtown and just kind of hit it off. I think that we had complementary skill sets. We got along well socially. And overall, it's been just a blast from 2010 working together on all kinds of different projects.
Nice. So for today's podcast, I just put together a couple of questions, just to start talking about Jaycon, what we do, and this is Techmates, so it's not all about Jaycon, but I thought it would be a good introductory to like our experience and what we've been doing. So the first question I have is, how did we get started? And you've kind of already answered that, but I think maybe if you could go into a little bit more. How did we actually get into the product design business? I remember when we started it really had nothing to do with product design. It was all about students and helping them with different parts.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we actually transition from that to what we're doing today?
That's a good point. So I think the questions you have is how did we get started and how did we get to where we are today? I have been going in and out of China since 2008. And when I met you, you were this kind of technical guy that could design circuit boards, and you were already assembling circuit boards inside your house on your kitchen table. And when we came together, we came up with the idea of this e-commerce web store. So when we actually started Jaycon Systems in 2011, we started as an e-commerce web store where you were basically selling products to the students at FIT that would incorporate into their mechatronics class. And we would actually create kits. We had sourced some of the components, and then those kits were kitted and then sold to the students at a markup. And then there was a curriculum. I think you were a GSA, a student teacher, and you were, educating the people about how to design these products as well. And so we created that e-commerce web store. Fast forward a little bit, and we kind of pivoted along the way where we were designing products for our own web store. We were documenting it. We were putting the code online. And then next thing you know, we saw China was copying. A lot of people from China were copying our designs. And of course, they were open source designs. So it was free for anybody to kind of copy. But at the same time, they didn't really give back. They didn't harness that open source, sharing the code, they were copying it and selling it cheaper than we could actually sell it. So we started thinking, what can we do? How can we pivot? And in 2013, a couple of years after being in business, somebody came to us and said, hey, can you design circuit boards for us? And I think that's when we got the first real aha moment, when somebody came to us with an idea of taking 30,000 of these toys that they had purchased from China, and they needed a solution on how to redesign or how to revise those toys. And so since 2013, that's mostly when we started doing product design for other people. Right, Jay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, I think you missed a little bit. Like, we started with eBay, right? Like, we were buying, and don't forget the Arduino, right? The popular Arduino Uno. That's kind of how everyone got started in electronics. So we became the first distributor of that product. Well, one of the first distributors of that product, and we bought tons of them and sold them on eBay, sold them on our website, sold them to students. And yeah, I was a GSA, and I was helping teach that mechatronics class and developing a syllabus. So yeah, all of that kind of started the Arduino process and all that stuff. And then eventually we got our first office because we were working out of our home. We got our first little office on Wickham, and we started like developing our own little circuit boards, to compete, like you said, with China. But there was no way to compete with China, right? Because their pricing, they would just copy whatever we did, whatever everybody else was doing, and then they would sell it for half the price, and there was just no way. And then eventually, I guess we got approached by lots of different companies or clients, people, entrepreneurs who were asking us for help on using some of those products to build their final product. And so that's kind of how we got involved in product design. But at the time, we were only doing electronics. We weren't really looking at plastics or anything like that. And then that was kind of our next step, right? So you brought that, your travel to China and stuff like that. You were very used to working with vendors overseas. And injection molding is not something that's very easy to do in-house unless you have big machinery and for the tooling and stuff like that. So you had that experience and you brought that in. And so the first time a customer came to us and said, hey, what about the case? Can you help me with the case? That's when you brought in that manufacturing part. And I actually still remember the first one we made. It was like a little beacon, like a Bluetooth beacon back in 2013, before beacons were even a thing. Like, it was the first ever beacon.
What's a beacon? What's IoT? Yeah. Remember?
Yeah, so it was our first Bluetooth beacon injection mold. I was a little nervous. I didn't know what we were doing back then. Like, can you actually injection mold this thing? Like, it was scary taking the order in and putting it in place. So yeah, so that one little injection mold turned into how many? I don't even know anymore.
I can tell you we do millions of products for clients now.
That's insane. So yeah, so today, as it is right now, we do basically product design, and then we segue that into manufacturing for PCB or circuit board assembly, and as well as the injection molded parts. But nowadays, we've even done aluminum, foam, all kinds of stuff. So we really, as long as it's something that adds on to what we're doing, we're okay with it. Like, we're comfortable taking that on. And I know we're working on like a little bit of a rebrand for our company. And I just wanted to say those two things. Like, one is that we call ourselves world-class engineering and manufacturing. And the way I would like to describe it is like Jaycon is a group of engineers and globally connected manufacturers. And globally meaning like we're more than just China now, right, Derek?
Yeah. So that's a good point. We are global. In fact, over the years, we've actually created our own offices overseas. And we have offices in China and in Vietnam. We did have an office in India, which we are kind of laying low right now. We started in 2020. But the point is, yeah, definitely, we actually have people on payroll in these different countries. We're paying for the resources, we're paying for the rent, we're paying for their social security, we're buying their lunches. And it's kind of interesting when I meet people and I say, yeah, we have an office in China. They think, yeah, I'm sure you have an office. No, but seriously, we have an office in China. Like, dude, I'm paying the payroll. I have a license, and I actually have one. It's right over here saying, this is our office, this is our license. And so we have actually been able to grow, and it's been really cool to see, like, whoever thought that one day we would have our own offices in all these different countries.
Yeah. So the full saying was Jaycon is a group of engineers and globally connected manufacturers that bring next generation products to market. So in one line, I think we finally wrapped everything we're doing. So
and I should add there that we have our own machines, we have our own team of people, but where there is kind of an area that we don't specialize in, let's say foam. Well, we probably have someone in our network, because we have a very extensive network of someone or someone's brother or someone's cousin that probably does that. And so we can reach out to them for all kinds of different solutions. So, that's why we say global manufacturers. It's not necessarily us, but we have a huge extensive network, which is very powerful.
Nice. So the next question I have, and again, I think we kind of touched on this as well, is like, why are we making a podcast? Like, what is the purpose of this?
Call on me.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have manufactured for so many different clients. We manufactured a very diverse set of things for people. And over the years, it's been 11 years, we figured out how to overcome so many problems and solving these solutions. And so we wanted to create this podcast and kind of share our experiences in bringing products to life. Some of those products, Jay, you could kind of mention and take over from here what those products are or have been in the past.
Sure. Yeah. So we've done, obviously, like the beacons, the Bluetooth beacons. We're really, really big on Bluetooth. GPS trackers. We've done toys. We've done air quality sensors. We've done dog toys. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I kind of forgot all the different products that we've worked on, but Pooper Scooper, does that one ring a bell?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done a lot of projects, and I thought, there's so many things that we've learned that we really want to share, and we just need a place to share them. And so that's why we thought, let's create this podcast. Let's work on, whenever ideas pop up. Like, I know we're working on a patent pending thing right now, so that would be fun. Like, how do you patent something? That could be a whole podcast. After we've successfully done it, we can share it with you and show you how we did it, so that hopefully it'll help someone else when they're trying to patent something.
I think we have a very unique set of skills that have been kind of brought up over the years. We design products, we design circuit boards, we do the assembly of those circuit boards. We've designed mechanical components. Mechanical meaning plastic parts or metal parts. We've designed custom springs. Not only that, but we've also gotten FCC certification for various clients. And shipping, shipping seems so simple these days, but we're able to overcome a lot of these shipping challenges, whether it's going from Hong Kong to China, or from Taiwan to China, or Vietnam to China, or China to Vietnam, or, to the United States. We really have a lot of experience in manufacturing various different items and overcoming logistics, how to overcome some of those problems. And it doesn't seem like it's crazy, but all of this stuff takes a lot of time to learn. And over the years, making millions of different products, we've figured out, how to ship stuff, how to manufacture stuff, how to overcome hurdles. And I think that's one of the main things that we're trying to do, is we're trying to figure out how we can put this into a bottled format where we can share it with you guys here. And that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to figure out how to do that and to bring that knowledge to you guys.
Cool. So the last little piece that I thought was kind of interesting to talk about in our podcast is some kind of news that is going on. Of course, today is August of 2022. We've had some really, really hard years that we've gone through, with chip shortages, with shipping prices becoming absolutely insane. What was like a container price last year?
Last year, maybe it was like 8,000.
I thought it was like 20,000.
Well, yeah. Now it's
like a full 20, container, 000. Like a 40. Yeah. So I think things are starting to get better. I can definitely see and feel that the chip shortage is starting to ease. The shipping prices are starting to ease up. Are you seeing anything with resin, plastic resin stuff? Are prices getting better?
I think that there's some challenges right now, because resin, plastic is made out of oil, right? And if you've
Right.
seen Russia, the things that are happening over there, there have been some challenges with shortages, Vietnam getting material or not getting material, being in and out. So what we're actually seeing is kind of a challenge of being able to get the stuff in stock. And then when we get it, the prices are elevated. And all that stuff gets shipped. And so there are shipping delays too. And so we're figuring out how to overcome those shipping delays, how to figure out, the documentation and paperwork for customs. It's been really challenging over the years. And then, of course, managing the customer's expectations. Those are, trying to explain that to them too.
Yeah. Also the international labor rates are also going up, right? So that's affecting like our assembly prices. Same thing in Vietnam, probably. I know we've been doing some work in Vietnam now. You want to talk about that at all? How's that
It's actually looking very hopeful. In the past, Vietnam has been really well known for wood, making furniture. They've been known for making shoes, making clothing. They're really well known for that. And they're slowly starting to get into this high-tech industry of manufacturing circuit boards as well as plastic parts. And that's kind of our area that we're really seeing a growth happening there.
Nice. And of course, the USA, right? We can't not talk about USA. How is manufacturing in the USA now? That seems like a really new thing. But at least as long as I've been doing it, it's been all about China and international and Mexico. But now something is changing.
Well, we have several things changing right now for manufacturing here in the United States. And keep in mind, we own facilities here. We have huge machines bigger than most vehicles that do manufacturing and do assembly for us. And we always give the customer an option. Do you want to manufacture here or do you want to manufacture somewhere else? And naturally, they say, I want to manufacture here. And by giving them the quote, they then ask us to, what's the price for manufacturing overseas? And in the past, it's pretty much been majority of our customers do the manufacturing overseas of the, we'll say, dumb items. But the smart items we actually have kept here. That's the circuit boards, that's the firmware, that's the programming and the assembly work of the items. But now manufacturing, I would say, is slowly starting to come back here to the United States. It has kind of helped with, in a way, some of the tariffs prevent, dumping of really cheap items. But at the same time, it has been really challenging to get the manufacturing here because, working with other vendors, they're much slower. Getting quotes from our vendors and suppliers has been a little bit slower, whereas overseas, we're able to move really quickly. But I think what has really leveled the playing field are the shipping costs.
Right. Well, also the U.S. dollar is pretty strong right now, against other currencies. So that's also playing a major role in manufacturing, I'm sure. But yeah, I think the next few years we can definitely see more and more manufacturing coming back to the U.S. Right? A lot of people come to us nowadays and say, no, they really want to make their product here, made in America, and that's been a huge push since 2018. But definitely after COVID, it's been like, let's start to detach from China and stuff like that. But I mean, what would you say that's still an even mix?
We're still doing a lot of manufacturing overseas, but keep in mind that manufacturing that we do, a lot of the items that we manufacture are consumer electronics. There are medical devices or sub-assemblies for medical devices that ultimately get assembled here in the United States. And it's other items similar to that. The military and DoD, we don't really partake. We don't participate in that type of work. And of course, that work is most definitely here in the United States. So the consumer electronics and the widgets that we're manufacturing for clients, we're still seeing a lot of those being manufactured overseas. We're just kind of shuffling around from China to Vietnam. And then we're making a lot more raw components or say sub-assemblies over there, and then sending it here for additional processing.
Cool. Well, I think we're running out of time here, so I wanted to say, this is our first one. So, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I hope we make lots more. We're hoping to make one a week at least and get more information out there for you guys and hopefully get you guys designing and manufacturing more products. So thank you so much, Derek.
We have a lot of knowledge to share in the design and manufacturing space. So listen to us and we'll help you get your product to the next level. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.